Today I want to look at the LS1/2W light from Aputure. I really like it and I think you will too. You know, I get these lights and I don't just unbox them and put them up and throw them around and say, look at this. I got this and I got some other lights too that I'm going to review. Maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I used these things to make sure they'll hold up to the rigors of filmmaking and making videos. I really like this thing, and let me show you some of the features and specs and things, and then we'll put this thing to the test. We'll light up the room and I'll show you what you can get. Let's put it together first. We have the light itself. It's just a thin LED light. We'll look at all the buttons and knobs and stuff. It comes with, of course, a remote control. Comes with a battery, thank you, which is cool. You get your manual, which is awesome. You have an XLR type cable to attach this with. This goes into the light. This controller, and again, there's no little fans and stuff like that. We'll go over what this thing does, and some little other odds and ends that we'll cover that are really cool. So now we're gonna put it together. Let's do it. The housing on this thing is fantastic. It's a thick grade of aluminum and it is just built like a tank. The only thing that is not metal on this are these two knobs. I've seen these on Aputure before, lights, and you know what? I've never had these breaks and I've never had them fail, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. But this thing is an absolute freaking tank. This is the connector that goes to the power supply unit. It's also supplied with the remote control and, thank you, the battery. You just simply turn it on and you got your light. Now that's at 10%. This thing is super bright. Let's turn it up to 100%. It is super bright. Let's turn it back down to 10% so I don't blow your eyeballs out. Very nice light, and it sends off a very nice white light. The angle of this is 120 degrees, as you'll see, which is really helpful for lighting backgrounds and stuff like that. Let's take a look at the side here. That allows you to pivot the light up and down. Nice way to bounce light off the ceiling this way. You can also pivot it this way. You can flip it all around. I really like the ability to pivot this thing around. And of course, this is the mounting to your light stand. And that's pretty much the light itself. The interesting part is when we get to the control unit and the accessories on that, which is pretty cool. Again, we have this remote control. You simply set up your channel and you can control your dimming right here from the controller. Let's take a look at the controller for a moment. The controller is really nice. You can also turn it on and off from here. You notice you have your 10%. We have a scroll wheel, which is really handy. I like being able just to finger this thing up and down, just like that. You have your channels. You can set, is it on A, B, C, or D on your remote? I have my key light on channel A, my fill light on channel B, my hair light back there on channel C, and I've used the same controller to set this up on channel D. And then you can separately even set more like what thing it's on. That's what these are. This is for DMX. I'm not going to go into that. Most people watching this channel aren't going to deal with DMX, but basically this allows you to set this up to a multi-unit controller to control all your lights from one panel, kind of like you would do with multiple sound inputs on a mixing board. And that's what this is, the DMX in and out. It's pretty simple. There's no fans, and I don't hear anything when it heats up. On the back, you can get two mounts. This is for a V mount battery, or you can get a gold mount battery. These are super handy. I did another video on these ultra high-end batteries and how you get 6 or 12 hours out of this. For me, I'm usually using powered input, and if not, that's fine. You can also get an adapter plate back here, where you could use a V-mount or gold mount and get a Sony adapter plate to stick on here, and that will work just fine for you. That's pretty much it. This little hangy thing, which obviously you're going to want to hang this somewhere. I usually hang it on the bottom of the light stand, and you're pretty much good to go. So let's take a look at the output of this light, turn this sucker around and see what we got. Okay, I've turned it around just to see what I'm doing here. I'm going to turn off my key light, I'm going to turn off my fill light, and I'm going to turn off my hair light. We're going to leave the red light on back there a little bit just because I want to be able to see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to, that's nothing. So now I'm going to turn on this LS1/2. That's 10%. You notice I haven't changed anything about the environment. This is perfectly exposed for the way I want it. That's 10%. So let's yank this thing up. And up we go to 100%. That is one seriously bright light. This light is 12 feet away from that back wall, which is really cool. I don't see any weird banding. I don't see any weird green fringing on this thing whatsoever. This is one seriously powerful light, and I love this thing. I'm probably going to use this probably above my shots for maybe like product shots and stuff like that, or I may just stick it on that back wall and use it at a low rate for just maybe as a highlight type something. Anyway, this is a cool light. Let's turn around to the front and I'll show you some of the options. Let me yank this thing down and get everything back together here. Key, fill, hair. All right, the last thing that we have on the front, which is kind of ingenious, you have these, which are basically, they call them tracing papers. You take one of these out, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to diffuse it. So you could take 1 or 2 or 5 of these guys out. Let's take 1, 2, let's take 3 of these guys. And what happens is you just mount these on these clips up here. Now what you've got is you've got a very nice diffused light here. I don't know why that's there. I'll have to check that out later. But you have a very nice diffused light. And it's kind of cool because let's yank this thing up again. You can put 1 in here, you can put 10 in here, and it controls how much diffusion you want. Again, this is at 10%. Let's turn it around and see what we got this time with our diffusion on there. Let's turn off the key light, the fill light, and the hair light, and let's yank this thing up and see what we got. Now obviously it's not as bright as before, but you have this really nice diffused light out of this thing from an LED, which is great. I definitely would use this, and I definitely love this light. The thing that really impresses me about this light is it's built like a tank, and in 5 years, I'm still going to have this thing, and I'm still going to be using this thing, and I'm not going to have to worry about buying a $100 light and a $200 light and another $100 light and another $100 light, and these things breaking apart and the plastic breaking and things failing. These are built like a tank. It's going to last you forever, and that's why I suggest it. I do have one complaint, however, and it's because of me. I used to do a lot of traveling around and stuff like that. I don't do that much anymore. The thing I don't like is it doesn't come with a carrying case like all the Aputure lights. I like Aputure lights. I have 1, 2, 3 tri-8s. I got another set of tri-8s. I got a full set of 120Ds. I mean, I could just go on, and I'm adding this to my arsenal because I really like this light a lot, but no carrying case. I get that those cases are expensive to sell and produce. They're $50, $60, $70. I would have liked to see this. Although I must appreciate that without the case, it brought the cost down $50 or $60. It's up to you. Save your pennies and get something that'll last you 10 years, or just keep throwing money into cheap ass lights, and it's your money. Do with what you want to do. Anyway, really like this. Really recommend it for those that need it. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Dun, 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 ba-da! You know, sometimes you get this idea in your head like, you know what'd be really cool is like, turn on the lights to 2001 Space Odyssey, which I did myself because I don't really want to get, you know, claimed on for the music. And then you just start doing it and you're just like, no, not gonna work, stupid.